morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you're watching or listening. My name is Caleb Glick. I'm a lawyer here in the great state of Texas with the Calhoun School of Law to bring you a lot of information that plenty of bad folks would rather you not have. Today's lecture, ladies and gentlemen, will provide another installment into our series on Mr. Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince. We're going on to chapter 10. So if you haven't gone back and watched chapters 1 through 9, I would highly encourage you to do so, because a lot of the tactics and strategies that Mr. Machiavelli outlines in The Prince has been used in the past and currently is being used by tyrants and authoritarians in order to subjugate and enslave the citizens, deprive them of their God-given rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of property or happiness. And oftentimes, just knowing about these tactics is enough to deter them from being used. So let's go ahead and jump on over to The Prince. Chapter 10 is titled Assessing a State's Strength. He says, when looking at the nature of these various states, one important question to ask is, if attacked, does a ruler have sufficient power to defend himself with his own resources, or will he always have to rely on the protection of others? To make the question more precise, let's say that a ruler who has enough men or enough money to put together an army that can take on all comers is, by my definition, capable of defending himself, while a ruler who can take on an enemy in the field but has to withdraw behind his city walls and defend those is one who will always be in need of outside help. We've already said something about the first kind of ruler in chapter 6, and later on there will be more in chapters 11 through 13. As for the second kind, one can only encourage them to fortify their hometowns and keep them well supplied while leaving the surrounding countryside entirely to its fate. If a ruler has built good fortifications and managed his relationship with his subjects as suggested above and further elaborated in the following pages, his enemies will always think twice before attacking him. People are always wary of projects that present obvious difficulties, and attacking a well-defended town and a ruler whose subjects don't hate him is never an easy proposition. German cities are completely independent, don't have much territory around them, and obey the emperor only when it suits. They are not afraid of him, nor of any other powerful rulers in the area. This is because these towns are so well fortified that everyone realizes what an arduous, wearisome business it would be to attack them. They all have properly sized moats and walls. They have the necessary artillery. They have public warehouses with food, drink, and firewood for a year. What's more, to keep people well fed without draining the public purse, they stock materials for a year's worth of work in whatever trades are the lifeblood of the city and whatever jobs the common folk earn their keep with. They hold military exercises in high regard and make all kinds of arrangements to make sure they're routinely practiced. So, a ruler whose city is well fortified and who doesn't inspire hatred among his subjects isn't going to be attacked, and even if he is, his attackers will leave humiliated, because the world is such a changeable place that it's almost impossible to keep an army camped outside a city's walls doing nothing for a whole year. Someone will object. What if people have houses outside the walls and see them being burned down? Won't they get impatient? Won't the long siege and their worries for their own futures make them forget their ruler? My answer is that a leader with power and personality will always get round problems like this. He can raise hopes that the siege won't last long. He can frighten people with stories about the enemy's cruelty. He can move quickly to block anyone who seems too hot-headed. Aside from this, it's obvious that the enemy is going to be burning and razing the countryside as he approaches the town at a time when people are still enthusiastic and determined to resist. This actually gives the ruler less cause for concern, because a few days later, when hearts are cooling, the damage is already done, the blow struck, and there's no way back. As a result, people will rally round their ruler all the more. They'll see him as indebted to them because their houses have been burned and their property destroyed in his defense. It's human nature to tie yourself to a leader as much for the services you've done him as the good he's done you. Hence, when you think about it, if the ruler is sensible, it won't be that hard to keep people solid throughout the siege, so long as they have food to eat and weapons to defend themselves. So that is all to be said in chapter 10. If you have any questions about what was said in chapter 10, maybe questions about what was said in the preceding chapters, or maybe there's a legal topic you'd like me to cover in a future lecture, go ahead and post those down in the comments, because the entire purpose of the Calhoun School of Law is to equip you with the necessary skills and information such as this to combat any sort of lawfare that will be waged against you, your loved ones, or your hard-earned property. So please, if you have any questions at all, go ahead and post them down in the comments. Likewise, I hope you enjoyed this lecture, and if not, while you're down in the comments, go ahead and let me know how I can do better so I can best serve that purpose of helping you. I hope you'll have a wonderful day, and until I see y'all in the next lecture for the next topic, I bid you all farewell.